We'll start. All right. Well, hello and welcome to our day camp orientation. My name's Elizabeth Cochran. Eli is my nickname. I'm the executive director here at Camp Ernst. And we are delighted that you will be joining us this summer for our day camp program. Our day camp runs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we have actually 10 weeks of day camp. We have a week 0 and then weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we will have a ranch day camp weeks 1 through 9, and then regular day camp week 0 through 9, and also preschool day camp, which is half day, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is just weeks 1, 2, and 3. So just testing that out this year for ages 3 to 5. So I want to tell you about why you should be really happy and excited that your kids are going to Camp Ernst this summer. One reason is, of course, spending time unplugged. So kids are going to be outdoors in nature. They are going to be leaving their devices at home. They'll be learning how to do classic camp activities like you see right here in this picture. The making a lanyard, probably a lot of you parents, if you went to summer camp when you were a kid, maybe you still even have a lanyard somewhere in your parents' basement or in your desk drawer. The skill of lanyard making, or really any skill that you learn at camp, is, I mean, yes, the skill is important itself, but also just the idea of being able to set a goal and reach that goal or work towards that goal. So whether it's hitting the target in archery or conquering your fears at the top of the high ropes course on the double disco, or learning how to start a lanyard, any of those things could be a kid's goal. And the feeling of accomplishment or achievement, we know, is a great outcome of spending a summer or even just a week at camp. And then friendship, of course, the spending time with kids who might be different from us, or in a from a different part of Greater Cincinnati, or maybe we find out that someone who is from somewhere else is actually has we have a lot in common with them. Either way, the idea of being able to look somebody in the eye and face to face, make friends with them, be curious about them and connect with them, and then share your own experiences really helps kids' social emotional learning for later on. And we are really pleased to be able to offer that experience at camp. A lot of times kids say they come to camp for the first time because of the activities, but they come back every year because of the people. And the people and the place kind of make up this sense of belonging, really. Like when you are at camp and you feel like it's your place and you know your way around and you know the group that's with you, then you just get a feeling of like, I belong here. And that is a feeling that helps kids build confidence and independence. Um, this is just a list of our programs. I know that all of these programs have those outcomes. And when your kids come to day camp this summer, whether they're coming to traditional day camp for 1 week or for the whole summer, or if they're coming to ranch day camp, these are the outcomes that we expect. They're going to be placed in a huddle with kids their age, and each huddle has a camp counselor that's their counselor for the week. And so the huddles will go through the week with the prescribed schedule. I always use the example of like, it's kind of like how at school, first period, you have math, second period, you have social studies, except it's more fun. Like, first period, you have archery, second period, you have fishing. So going around to all the different activities with your camp counselors who are helping you make friends and helping you make those goals like we talked about earlier, and helping you achieve the activity and keeping you together and monitored and safe along the way. So they're in huddles, they're rotating through these different activities. For example, these ones that I have listed here, They will go to the different areas around camp. So the double disco, I'll show you a picture of that in a minute, is our high ropes course, and they'll have a chance to try that. They will be down at the lake where they will get to go boating, and they'll be in the valley, which is our classic part of camp with traditional camp activities like fishing and arts and crafts and archery. This is a picture of the double disco. So the tiniest kids can they can still participate by they get to go on the zip line and the climbing wall, and then once the groups that are tall enough, like usually it's around age 8, they go on the double disco. We practice challenge by choice, which means you decide if you want to go up to the first level or the second level or the third level, or maybe your challenge is just getting to the first platform and then you want to turn around and go back. And that's okay too. So no one's going to be forced to do anything, but everyone will be encouraged to kind of push into their challenge zone. We're also playing traditional camp activities, like this is called 9 square in the air, just down on the sport court. So kids are just always playing gaga and 9 square, 4 square, pickleball. We've got always got a bunch of games going on. This is a little picture of the lake. This is a thing, an inflatable called the Rocket. It's kind of like a giant teeter-totter at the lake. These are the corkles. They're like kayaks, but in a circle. Oracle. This is creaking. So, oh my gosh, like the activity from that I remember from my childhood growing up, we had a creek next door to our house, and I spent so much time looking for fossils in the creek and seeing what kind of critters were there. And I think it's so cool for kids to get to come to camp and stomp around in the creek, see what kind of fossils they can find. Here they found a little frog. Um, they also go fishing in the creek. A lot of times they find clay naturally in the creek, and then they're like, putting the clay on their faces, getting all clay covered. They will come home dirty every day, by the way. I do expect that. And then we have 2 pools. This is a picture of one of our pools, the valley pool where we have a slide. And I do want to mention that, of course, being part of the YMCA, we have water safety is one of our highest principles. And so we practice test, mark, and protect, which means that we'll make sure that all of our campers go through a swim test on the first day. If they choose to not challenge the swim test, then they can just wear a life jacket in the shallow end and stay there. Or if they want to take a swim test to stay in the shallow end, they have to swim across the short way of the pool in the shallow end, and then they get a yellow bracelet. If they take the short test and they pass it, and then they want to take the long test to be able to swim in the deep end, which is 7 feet, then they can do that that part of the swim test and get a green band, like this girl in the picture here has a green band, and that means they can go in the deep end. And so, of course, the lifeguards are there all the time. The lifeguards and the counselors will help campers progress if they want to get better at their swimming, and try for that green band if they're a yellow band, or try for a yellow band if they're a red band. And then when they're at the lake, like we saw these pictures right here, like at the lake, everybody wears a life jacket in the boats or in the swimming area in the lake, regardless of swimming ability. I didn't want to leave out our horses because, of course, I think being in Kentucky, horses are a great add to our program. And we have about 30 horses at our ranch, and ranch day camp is very popular. I think there's 2 weeks when we have a couple of spots left for ranch day camp. But the ranch day camp group will be also arriving at 9 o'clock, checking in, and then they will be heading up to the barn for most of the day. They do have a tiny bit of their day that is dedicated to doing other camp activities, but most of their day is really centered around the barn when they're doing arena lessons and they're learning about the tack and how to take care of a horse and going on trail rides. I think, oh yeah, I want to talk about check-in. So, check-in will be the gate will open at 8:45 in the morning, and so check-in is from 8:45 to 9, and you'll come down the driveway, that main entrance at 7615 Camp Ernst Road. So it has a big sign that says YMCA Camp Ernst main entrance, and it's on the dam that makes the lake. If you've been on Camp Ernst Road, if you've been, maybe you've driven past our property before. So you'll come down the driveway and then there is a gravel parking lot when you go straight, and you loop around the gravel lot, and then our staff will be right there at what we call the dodgeball court, where you will just circle around in your car. You'll check in your camper, they'll check them in on our system on their phones, and then your campers will immediately get connected to their counselor and they will start the fun for the day. And then pickup happens in reverse. You're coming down the driveway and then you make the loop around and they call for your camper and you come and they get back in the car and maybe they fell asleep on the way home because they're so tired. I wanted to mention healthcare. Of course, we have our medical staff, which are there in case of emergency and also in case a camper needs some over-the-counter medicine, like maybe they have a little headache or something like that, and they just need a little Tylenol. The camp medical team will take care of that. So they don't need to bring any medicine. If you do have a camper who has a prescription, like they always have to take it every day at 2 o'clock or something like that, and you can't rearrange it for outside of the camp time, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., then our camp nurses and our day camp director, Leslie, can coordinate that for you. Wanted to flip through the packing list, of course. This is just screenshot directly from the website, day camp packing list. We want them to wear gym shoes each day. So those closed-toed shoes, they have to have closed-toed shoes on in order to go on the ropes course. They're doing a ton of walking. And so really it is not adequate to wear flip-flops or sandals because there's just a lot of walking at camp. They can bring flip-flops or sandals and bring them in their backpack, carry them around with them, or leave them at the day camp pavilion with their huddle's belongings for the day, and just grab them when they go to the lake or the pool. But really they need to be wearing those gym shoes. For ranch day camp, they need to have long pants on every day and boots with a heel are preferred. So that's riding boots with that defined heel. And then, weather appropriate clothing, don't send them even if they insist on just wearing a sweatshirt, please pack a t-shirt in the backpack so that they can, because they will get hot. There's no way that you're gonna go any day this summer outside the entire day wearing a sweatshirt. A backpack is really great for carrying around all of their stuff all day. We do always want you to send their things with labels on their belongings. So a last name or a first and last name, that's great. Initials are really not adequate with the number of kids that we have at camp. It's way too hard to figure out who something is if it just has initials. We do have, and I'll make sure this is prominent somewhere on this website, or it'll be in an email later to you. But we do have a partnership with a company called Mabel's Labels, which are really cool, like cute labels that you can order. And if you put in our discount code, it gives you a discount, and it also kicks back a little money to us at the end of the year if you buy from Mabel's Labels. A water bottle, absolutely. We have refillable water bottle stations all around camp. We also have big igloo coolers with cone cups, but we really like for kids to have their own water bottle that they're carrying around with them at camp. And then a swimsuit and towel. Um, the there's not a lot of rules about the swimsuits, except they really need to have one and a towel. And please put their names on those too. Sunscreen. The counselors will make sure that everyone puts on sunscreen. They will remind them, but we really want kids to learn responsibility. So please help them before they come to camp, help them make sure that they know how to put on sunscreen, what the best way to put on sunscreen that you're sending with them is. Make sure if you send them spray sunscreen that they know how to put it on and that they shouldn't spray it like on the ground or on one of the buildings or on something other than their own skin. And extra pair of socks and underwear is good. We do need you to pack a lunch with them every day, and we don't have refrigerator or microwave, so just pack them that lunch and their lunch boxes or whatever their lunch bag is in. Those will be stored at the day camp pavilion during the day, and then they go back to that pavilion at lunchtime to eat their lunch. And then most of the day campers really love to also have a snack in their backpack, and these are the optional things like hand sanitizer or hats, flip-flops, sandals, etc. We really do not want you to bring any kind of electronics, so they don't need they don't need their phone, they don't need their iPad, none of that. They should really not have a smartwatch. Anything that connects to the internet, we do not want them to bring that to camp. Uh, I can't imagine why a day camper would have an extension cord, but that is also prohibited. Cash, they won't need any money. Matches, lighters, fireworks, pocket knives, weapons, alcohol, tobacco, any kind of those like things that kids should not have. Do not bring those to camp. And then expensive items really have no place at camp. The clothes, expensive clothes or shoes or jewelry, and we already talked about electronics. Um, I already said this, but the having a phone at camp really takes away from the program, and we really want kids to be able to take that time when they're at camp to focus on connecting with each other and with nature. And Lord knows they've got enough time on their devices when they're not at camp. So we are tech free in that sense. All right, I just threw a ton of stuff out at you. If you have any questions, let me just stop this recording. And then if you have questions, you can let me know what those are. Mm,
Mm, yeah.
all right, what questions do you have?
Hi, it's Brandon. I've got multiple kids doing multiple things. I think one of them is the traditional day camp, and then the other one is the horse